Welcome, 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 my lovelies. Welcome to part 5 of the commission house that I'm building at the moment, or decorating at the moment. I hope you enjoyed the last video. I'm only just starting to receive comments back from the last video because this is only about quarter of an hour since I uploaded the last video. So I'm sure they'll get a lot more. But anyway, I am starting part 5 now, straight away, so we can get on with this, and I can let you see what I am up to. I am now, as I said in the last video, I do have the metal jig that I'd ordered, the steel metal jig. It's been brilliant. I've been putting the cupboards together basically, painting them, putting them together, and they are coming up really, really nicely. I'll just show you, well, I'll bring the camera down and you can see the jig in action, like how it holds the pieces. I'm very, very pleased with it. I'm so glad I bought it. It's going to be a very well worth purchase. I'm absolutely sure of that. So I'm just about to put one of the handles on one of the drawers, so we can do some drilling on this jig, and it's going to be fabulous. Let's go right into it and see what we're up to. Okay, so as you can see, there's one of the units. They're going to stand on the countertop. They won't actually be, they'll be on the wall but resting on the countertop. But as you can see, hopefully you can, all the lights shining from this and making the screen change colour, I can see it. But I've glued this together and I'm holding it in with the magnets here. They're very strong, really good magnets. So I'll just leave that to dry off, and then we can move it out. But while I'm waiting on that, I have made some little drawers to go in the base of one of these units. And I'm just putting the handle on. So I've measured to get the centre of the handle, and with any luck it will just rest in here perfectly, and it's just the right height to keep that in place. Normally you would just do this on the workbench and just try and get it as best you can, but this holds it much better, so that's excellent. I'm using one of these pin drills, and if you've got one of these, then you've probably got a set of drill bits there, but they go from really tiny, extremely, you can hardly see that in the camera, up to a reasonable size. So just get the size, and if you're not too sure, then just test it on a bit of wood. Just drill holes and try the handles or the doorknobs in those holes until you get one that fits nice and snug. And then we are just putting that on there, holding that down, and just drill. It really take a few turns for it to go right through. There we are. That's gone through, I think. And you can see that's gone through, and I'm just going to pull that out carefully, rub that nice and flush, and just put that down there again, and then we'll get one of the doorknobs. I've left the doorknobs a wooden colour, this sort of pine wood colour, just so they stand out against the green of the cupboards. I was going to paint them, but they would have really disappeared because they're so small. And I think this just adds to the feature, having them normal colours. Now I'm just holding the end of this. I'm just dabbing a tiny bit of glue, super glue, on there, and push that in. Now I can just push that in like so. There we are. And they're nice shaped. The length of the doorknobs are great, so once they're actually in the wood, they're still flush with it. They're not sticking out into the drawer. So, and they just show up nicely with the colour behind them. Let's keep the lid on that glue. And then if I pick up one of these units, this should just fit perfectly, and it does. That's good. I love when I haven't tried something on video and I'm doing it as we speak, and that split second I think, oh, it's bound to need sanding or whatever. And sometimes they do. Things like this don't fit exactly right all the time, but that just does at the moment. And then it's got a glass door there and some glass shelving as well. So that's going to be nice. There's 2 of these. And then this one that I'm making at the moment is going to be an open unit with 3 shelves in it. And all I'll do each for the shelves is just to measure and get the bits of card and put them each side. Stand them each side of the shelf there and lay a shelf on top, and then take them out and move it up again and lay another shelf, and so on. So it's just equidistant apart. So that's probably almost dry, but I'll just give it a few more minutes. And let's start putting some of the cabinets together and get them up on the wall. Yay! And now I'm starting to put the units together. They're the 3 units that sit on the countertop. Oh, and also, while I remember, let me just open the door and show you. Just while I've glued the shelving onto the tiny strips of wood, the glue, I want the glue not to show because it's see-through. So I've got one here. That is the glue and glaze that I use, and it's for putting the glass in window frames and things, or anything that's see-through, any perspex or whatever. So that it's white when you put it on, but when it dries clear. So it just looks neater and not too messy. There we are. Okay, my lovelies. So another day has gone by, so this morning I'm working on the extractor fan, and this is the beginnings of it. I've started gluing bits together, different sections. There's altogether for this fan there are 17 pieces of wood. There's little strips, separate strips under there. So 17 bits of wood altogether. Now I didn't want to paint the wood the same as the kitchen cupboards. It would look silly and unreal. So I said this is the next morning, because most of last night I was lying in bed and doing different finishes in my head to the extractor fan, and when I had gone through, exhausted my thoughts on it, they all started again. So this little thing here has kept me awake most of the night. Well, I say most of the night, probably half the night. But anyway, I've been so excited to get up this morning and start on this. So as you can see, this is very solidly dried now and put together. So I'm going to carry on with it. But what I've done now, before I glue any more bits together, is I'm going to use bring the can here, a spray primer undercoat. So I'm going to spray it with a grey coloured undercoat. But the finishers now and the actual fans, extractor fans that you can get nowadays, are unbelievable. Oh, if we had so much money we didn't know what to do with it. I would get a really snazzy extractor fan. But they do them in steel, brushed stainless steel, chrome, like mirror effect chrome. They're amazing now. And you can get different colours apart from black as well. But anyway, so I'm going to paint this up, and I can see in my head, I can see a lot of metal, and because that will be very, very metallic when it's finished, when I've finished with it, it will really stand out against the pale green of the cupboards in the kitchen and the brown worktop. I think it's going, in my head, I'm so excited. I've never been so excited over an extractor fan, but this is going to look fabulous. Anyway, let me get spray in. I will put a mask on. I'm just doing this now before I put a mask on, because then my voice would be muffled. So I'll get this undercoat sprayed, give it a couple of coats, let it dry, and then carry on with the finish that I'm going to do on it. Now, I just thought I'd show you this bit before I attach it to the wall, because once it's in, that's the underneath of the extractor fan. It's even got the metal grill there, but when it's on the wall and that's underneath, it's very hard to actually see it. You've got to really get down to sort of look under the hob there, or under the extractor fan. But as you can see, I'm doing different sections, different finishes. So here we have like a brushed stainless steel. I don't know how well it's shown up on the camera, and that's been sanded and painted 4 times now, so I think that's metallic enough. And along here, hopefully you can see it all shiny. It looks like a hammered chrome effect, so I'm just waiting for that to dry. It's like a mirrored chrome. It's brilliant. I'm so excited. Right, I have to leave this to dry, then I can put it all together, and then we can fix it with the units to the wall and see what that looks like. Now, while I'm waiting for the extractor fan to dry and finish trimming it and doing different things, I'm putting the lights into the kitchen. As you can see, I'm putting 3 spotlights in a line from the back of the kitchen to the front, and all I've done is measure across the width of the room. So I've got the centre line, I've marked that, and then I've measured equidistance from the back to the front to place 3 light bulbs. Just do it on your calculator or in your head if you're clever enough, which I am not. So anyway, first of all, I drilled the holes. Sometimes let me show you. Oops. I'll show you from the top here. I've got the Dremel here. That if I had a drill on the end, it would be to drill holes. But you can't mark the holes in most houses and drill with the Dremel, because it's not, the ceilings aren't big enough. So to drill the actual holes, I'm trying to grab things with my right hand here. To drill the holes in the ceilings, I always use this drill, and as you that stands up okay, and as you do that, it drills the hole, and you just go up and down. But I didn't mark it. I could have actually marked it from the top. Now I'm doing this on video, and it would have been easier to push down like that, but I'm so used to marking the actual room so I can see exactly where they are in with everything around it, and just make sure it is all perfect. And what I did then was to put the drill on the ceiling, so it's enough space to put that in, and then just hold it with 2 hands and push up like that, and just keep pushing, and it drills through. It only takes a couple of minutes to do all 3. Once I've done that, I then get my Dremel out and put the routing tool on there, which is very worn and very black now. I must buy a new one, but it still does the job. I got a ruler first of all, and drew a line from straight across the 3 holes to the back, and then just used the router, started at the back of the house, right against the back wall with it on at an angle, and just slowly dragged it along the pencil line all the way up to where you need to route to. And then after that, I just went backwards and forwards slowly, right from front to back and back to front, until I got the groove deep enough. And then I've pushed the 3 lights up, and all I need to look out for, usually if you just got 1 light in your room, then you're just drilling from there, laying the cable down, and that's done. What I've got to remember here is this is going to have 1 track, 1 wire there to there, then 2, and then from there it's going to have 3 wires. So obviously I'm going to fit them and make sure they all fit in the groove that I've done. If not, at any point in time, I'll just lift them out the way, or even take them out completely and re-drill the line a bit deeper. But you've got plenty of you're not going to drill that deep, like 9 mils deep. You only need to drill down a little bit to get the get the wires in. And then when I've done that, I'll lay them all flat and put masking tape all the way down to flatten it before the flooring will go on the room above. Okay, so now the room is drilled above and all the wires will lie in the floor. I'm just going to pull the cables up through to the ceiling and glue each one onto the ceiling. Just to point out, or people that are just starting out, these things, most of the lights come with these little sticky pads, and you just peel off the bit on the top there, and you're left with the sticky pad. I can't do it with one hand, but you're just left with the sticky pad and you can stick it on the ceiling. I don't do that for my houses, and especially for my customers. I take the pads off completely, because after a while the sticky pads can come loose and get dry of the glue, and they can come loose from the ceiling. So basically they're rubbish, but they need to give you something to be able to use, you know, to make them fully workable. But I always just dab a drop of super glue on the top there, or however the fitting is made. Drop some super glue on there, hold it up to the ceiling for 10 seconds, and then it's well and truly stuck. So I shall carry on and take that pad off with both hands, and that's what you're left with. And I'll just, as I said, just drop a little bit of glue on there when it's close, and pull the cable up closely to the ceiling, nice and slowly, and glue it. Okay folks, so here we have the finished kitchen. All around the top of the units I've put architrave, just to add that extra touch there, and on top of the where the countertops meet the tiles, I've done a tiny thin brown coloured wood there, beading, and just all around the edge there to finish them off. Hopefully you'll think it's okay. I am really pleased with it. There's the extractor fan with the hammered chrome effects around the edge there, and I've put beading tiny sort of architrave around the top and bottom of that, and along the top of there, just to finish that off. Just all little things like that, just add to the attention to detail. So, and as I said, all the cupboards open, all the drawers open, the oven opens, so we can get the roast dinner out when that's ready. Absolutely brilliant. And as I said, it looks sad there because there's no wine in there. There needs to be wine in there, so we'll do something about that. So yes, I'm really pleased with it, and I hope you are too. And hopefully when my client gets their house back and they've dressed it, or as I know it's always an ongoing thing, it's never ever finished, a doll's house, but when they've got some things on the shelves and in cupboards, maybe they'll probably send some photos, hopefully, and then I could put them on and show you guys on another photo with it dressed, because the rooms do look different when they're dressed. They're much more lived in, and there's the 3 spotlights there, so that's going to add a nice light to it when it's done. So hurrah, we shall move on to another room. Okay, so moving on, kitchen done, lounge done. Now I've moved into the hallway, but I've moved into the hallway throughout the whole building, so it's right the way up into the attic. So the ceilings were painted, all the ceilings in the house have been painted a few coats of white already, and then I masked off the edge of the ceilings that were against the walls here with lots of masking tape, so I could paint the walls. What's taken me a huge amount of time was actually painting the walls. You would just look at it and think, oh, a couple of hours work, but no. First of all, I've got big hands to try and get in here and paint in the first place to make it look nice and neat. And also, when you've got your paintbrush and you're trying to paint the walls, the end of your brush is hitting the opposite wall because the brush is longer. So every time I tried to do a stroke, it was bashing against the wall on the other side. And it was a real pain. I ended up having to try and do each coat of paint from the front and move backwards. It's not a natural feeling to do that, but I had to try and do this. Once it was dry, then I sanded the whole thing top to bottom and vacuumed it out. And then I painted it again, and then I sanded it again, and then I painted it again. So it's as neat as it's going to get. Oh, and also with all the sanding, in case anyone is worried about the beautiful furniture or the beautiful lounge, what I did, I've just took them off to show you folks so you can get a good idea of it. But I just cut paper out. You know, I'm calling them dust sheets. So I had paper down on the floors. I've papered up the doors here. They're still papered actually, just to stop the dust going through. And I put paper on the front of the fourth wall in both rooms and just sellotaped it down. So these rooms were sealed off while I was working on that. If I'm doing any more sanding or anything, then I will put paper back on the front of these rooms or any completed room and seal it off, so it's dust free as much as possible. So now I'm going to move on to the stairs and prepare the stairs before they go. Now I've decided to do something with the windows in the hallway. There's a window in the lower hallway and an upper hallway, an arched window. There's also panels in the front door. I think there's 2 glass panels and one above it. But I take these out. They are, oops, take the paper off. They are stained glass. So there are some tiny, tiny, tiny little areas here. Minute. Minute is an understatement. And there's that goes over the front door, and they're the door panels. I think these are for the front door. I haven't looked at it properly. But when I remember doing the front door, there were holes like this, so I'm guessing this is the front door. I will get to that at another point, but at the moment I am going to attempt to colour some of these in. Right, okay, I'll show you what I'm doing at the moment. So I've just got a tiny, I think it's a 4 or 5-0 brush, which is basically very small. And I'm just touching, I'm using a pearlescent ink, acrylic ink, because the light will shine through that better than a solid acrylic colour. And then I'm not talking in between touching this. I'm holding my breath and being very careful. I think this needs a very, very steady hand, and it's going to take some days, I think, to do all the windows. It's going to certainly take many hours, but hopefully they'll be very pretty when they're finished. But I'm just sort of dropping the colours into the shapes. I think with there's tiny little bits in there, that shapes in there that I don't know, I might use the end of a cocktail stick and just dab it with the spike of the stick to colour some of the little bits. This is where, if you don't have a lot of patience, then this is, I think, look the other way now. And one thing I always say I have is bucket loads of patience. So although this will take time, that is all it's going to take, is time. And not to do it when you're feeling harassed or panicky or anything like that. Just take your time. And also, while it's wet, I suppose if you do make a mistake, you can, I've got some tissue here, you can just tear off a tiny piece of tissue and just roll it to a tiny point, like so, and then you can just carefully dab, and it will soak up the colour. If you don't like what you've done, or if you've made a mess or anything. Hopefully I'll be able to get through all of these and not actually make a mess. Who knows? Who cares? Actually, I care a great deal. Especially, as I say, when I'm doing this for somebody. It has to be just right. And I'll show you, I'll just come in, I've only just started, but I'll get the camera and come in closer. And you can just see where I'm going with this. There we are, so you can see the colours. I've just started, as you can see. There's an awful lot to do. And that's just one window. But I always try and look at everything this year, I've decided. Look at everything as glass is half full. So although this is going to take several hours, I don't have 3 dozen of them to do. I have 2 windows like this, and then 3 smaller pieces for the front door. So on the plus side, it's not going to take weeks. But I shall carry on with that and then show you my efforts a bit later on. Okay, so that's the two of the windows done, or the 2 main windows, the biggest parts. It looks bright at the moment, but it won't be as solid as that. It'll be very, if I hold it up to the window here, it's more stained glass when the light comes through it, because of the pearlescent paint. So light comes through there, which is excellent. Now coming back to the hallway, I've just made a hole in the centre of the 2 floors to put the light in. I won't fit the light in just now, but I just wanted to drill the holes, and then where the holes come to, I've drawn a line. Because these walls don't go back to the back of the wall, the back wall, you can't just draw a line straight down and route out the back. So to bring your wires to the back of the house, I just come through the nearest doorway and straight down to the back of the wall, the same as that one. And then on this one, I've done the same thing, just drawn a line, come through here. I just route it down deep enough so it's level with where the door jamb is, where the lower part of the door jamb, so the cable can run flat to that when it's all taped up, and that goes back down to there as well. So that's that done. Now cutting the carpet for the stairs, I'm applying that now. I've painted the stairs white on each side of the steps there, and the spindles and the banister has been stained brown. And then laying the carpet, I'll show you, that's the small landing bit that the stairs turn onto when you're at the top of the stairs. So I've measured it exactly, so that will fit exactly. I haven't taken the backing off of that yet. All I've done is draw a very fine line across there with the scalpel, so I can peel the stair carpet off first of all. But this, so it saves sticking to anything, I've just kept the paper on here, and when I'm ready to put the stairs in place I can just peel this bit off and stick it down. And to keep the stairs straight, because it can go off at a tangent, and then when you get to the bottom it's not even at the bottom step, so you can't really see what I'm doing, but what I'm doing basically is folding the stair over on the top lip there, and then using a ruler there and pushing it up under equally along the bottom edge of that, and then flattening it down into the corner of the stair like so, and then the next one and the next one, and just slowly work your way down the stair. And I'm nearly at the bottom now, so I would just turn the lip over there, stick that, you can't actually see what I'm doing, but you get the gist of it anyway. Just try and keep it even when you put it onto the, when you stick it onto the actual stair itself, like so. It keeps it nice and square, and then the next two, and then what's left at the end there, you can just turn the stair over and just slice it off with the scalpel. I always do it extra long because this is amazing how much this takes up going under all the risers. It does take a lot up, so I'll carry on. I'll finish that off, cut it off, and then that stairwell is ready to be put in. I just want to show you, you know if it's gone on straight, because the top stair there, I've laid it in line with the top newel post, the square newel post, so when it's flush with that at the top, when you get to the bottom it should be flush at the bottom there. If it's away from there, or if it's pushing up against there, then you obviously have gone off kilter as they say. But this time it has gone on perfectly evenly. It doesn't always do that, and sometimes you have to start again, but on this occasion I've taken extra care and took extra time, and that's one of the main things with this. Don't hurry. And then that's down the bottom of the stair, and then I can cut that off nice and evenly there, like so. There, perfect. Right, I shall carry on, do the other pieces of the stairs, and then we'll get it all together. Okay, so when it comes to marking out the carpet to glue on, I want to make as least joins as possible, so you can't really see where the carpet joins. So when it's finished, basically it looks like it's all one piece of carpet. I mean you wouldn't have that in a real house. It would be impossible. It would all be done in sections, but you just want the joins to show in as least spots as you can. So starting from the top landing here, I've put the light in the floor below, and take that down just there. I can carry on with it in that room at another time, but that's just to lay it here so I can start laying flooring. So what I'm going to do, or what I have started doing, is if I lay this down, I've marked now. You can see the top of the land in the shape of it there. So what I've done is make a template so it fits just right in there, and then I've carried the edge of the flooring on there so it goes over the top step. So the flooring will continue across the landing, over that top step, down the other side and fold under and go down this part of the step here right into that corner. And then what I'm going to do before I put this step in is to lay carpet from here up to that join, right up to there first of all, and I'll leave this bit bare so then I can fit the stair fit the stairs in here. Let's put them, oops, if I put them in like so you can see they're fitted, they'd be fitted in. The carpet would be up to there, but you wouldn't see, you'd only see the top step. And then this floor in here I can put down, and then in situ I can tuck that down. Sorry, my arm's in the way, but I can tuck it down over the step and feel with my fingers to secure it, so there won't be a join at the top there at all, so you won't see any joins on this carpet. And I shall do the same with the next floor. So the next floor, the stairs are, you know, I can grab them here. I've here we are. I've put the stairs on and left the rectangle at the top for the landing, and then I will then place that in first of all before the one above goes in, and then that will all, the carpet will just join at it will be continued at the very top there, just lie nice and flat, and then that comes down to the bottom. This flooring, when I've laid this floor on, the stairs will just stand on the flooring. So hopefully that's sort of makes sense. So you won't see hardly any joins anywhere. Okay, so I'll carry on and put these in. Oh, and also I've put the coving in above. I've left a space there because there's magnets that go in there, or a clip there for closing the door, so that comes up against that. Remember to do that when you're if you've taken fitments off, that there's fitments to go back on. So anyway, I'll get on with that and see how that's looking. Okay, now I'm only laughing because I feel like I'm not, every time I go to do something I think, oh, I haven't told everyone, just in case it helps you. So I'm doing as much as I can on camera. So I just wanted to just show you quickly, this is the easiest place to show you. I measured where I needed the carpet to go. In this case it's covering the entire floor, so that's fine. Take that out, and then normally, or I won't say normally, but you would usually then peel off the paper at the back, and it leaves the sticky carpet. And the best way normally, if you're going to do that, is to peel it off at the furthest away point, and just pull it back a bit, and then lay that down very carefully and get it nice and square. With your hand underneath, slowly pull the paper out, and with your other hand flatten it as you go to smooth it down nicely. Some people I've heard have problems with this carpet just through chatting, and once it's stuck it's very hard to pull up again to relay if you get anything wrong. So if you're confident, then just do that, that's absolutely fine. If you're not and you want an easier way, if I bring the camera over here, oops, and then what I do, it's not a shiny plastic on the back, it is only paper, but also just to make double sure, I get just a piece of coarse sandpaper there, that's a P80, just anything nice and coarse, and I can't do it without using two hands, but I hold the paper down and give it a really good sand all over, just the whole thing, and when you feel it, it does feel sort of rougher. And that's just to give it an extra key. That's probably going over the top a bit, but I like everything, as you know, to be as good as I can make it. And then I'll come back over here, and then I will get PVA. PVA is absolutely perfect for this, and paste it carefully all around the whole base of the floor, including the corners and the edges. You don't want anything peeling up. And then you can lay your paper down. Normally with that, I would just do it on one side and the back, and then lay it down, just drop it down onto it carefully and just flatten it nice and easily, like so. So that's another way if you're not happy with peeling the back off these. And also, if you ever decide to change your carpet, it is slightly easier to scrape this off and replace it if the paper is still on. Very often with an old house, if you're trying to redecorate and this has been stuck on with the gluey bit, then it's absolute horrendous to try and scrape off again. So just another tip, thought you might like to know. Okay, sorry it's a bit dark. There's no lighting on in there, and it's a small narrow hallway, but here we have the finished stairs. It's lovely now seeing the banisters in place and everything, and going up, and here we have the railings at the top. Looking really good. I'm really pleased with that now. And I thought I could hear a noise behind me while I was filming then, and it's Georgie. I didn't realise you were in here, Georgie. Eh? Oh look, baby boy. He's all inquisitive still. He's just 1 year old, aren't you, baby? Eh? Okay folks, I thought I would leave it there. I'm not, until I put all the many clips together, I'm not sure how long this video will be at this precise moment in time, but I'm guessing it's enough now to put together and upload, so you can have something to sit and watch with your cup of tea or coffee or anything in between. Talking of tea, oh, that's lovely. Of course, made by John Boy. He makes a good cup of tea. Okay, so this is, I won't be filming any more today, so there's no point in waiting to upload this video. Today is boring work, not worth filming. It's a Saturday, so if I upload this promptly, then it will be on sometime today. But it's wet outside, it's raining, it's very dull. The good thing is it's watering all the plants, which is absolutely brilliant, so yay. But the rest of the day is a very boring day. I am going to be, I've started, that's undercoating doors, 6 doors in total. I'm going to be top coating those in painting them white. I'm going to be painting skirting boards and covings. I'll just do a whole batch of them, to enough to finish off the house. So it's just jobs that you just sit and not think about. Maybe have some music on in the background. And also I'll lay some more roof tiles on the back of the roof, which again is very mundane to watch. It's very therapeutic to do, but it's not very good, you know, good for people to sit and watch. It's not very good viewing stuff. So anyway, oh, and one thing, I did mention in one of my other videos, well, I bought a new metal jig that I've started using, which was fantastic. And as I assumed, the glue, when it builds up on the metal jig, which is you've got to find a way of cleaning that up to keep that nice and clean. And this arrived yesterday. It's 100% pure acetone. Not sounding naive, I should know these things, I suppose, but is that just nail varnish remover? I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, yes, 100% acetone, and it's only just got it yesterday or the day before, so I just got a piece of tissue, paper towel, put some on and wiped it on the jig. I'm pointing that way because it's over there. It's got a load of things sitting on it at the moment. Every time you find a space on your worktop, you put something on it. In fact, I will show you the chaos that has built up. any second. It's not always as messy as what I'm looking at now, but I've been doing about 3 different types of jobs in one go, and I needed bits for everything. But putting this on, wiping it, it dissolved it within a minute, and you could feel that it had gone completely smooth again. So that cleans up the metal jig. I've no idea if you would use it on wood. I'm guessing not, because the glue absorbs into the wood and it's too hard to get out. So wooden jigs just aren't that good for me personally. But anyway, so I shall love you and leave you. Just spend the day doing these things, get things done out the way so it gets the house nearer to being completed. And I will speak to you again very, very soon. I don't know what I've got planned next. I'm going to carry on videoing the house as soon as I get on to doing more rooms. But if anything else happens in between, then I'll put that on as a video as well. So thank you very, very much for watching. As always, please click like, subscribe if you haven't, as always, and join our family, which I'm really enjoying being with. I'm glad you're all here. Take care, everyone, and stay safe and keep well. Speak again soon. Bye. I have to say, I'm usually a lot tidier than this. That just fills me with horror. Oh dear.